Hello gorgeous, welcome to my channel. I'm Vicky6 and this is Peace, Art, and Controversy. I'm so excited for what I have in store for you guys today. Today we're actually going to be talking about relationships. We're not just going to be talking about romantic relationships, but relationships in general, relationships between people, between us and the energy that's around us. We're going to talk about connection, and it's going to be a really, really amazing day. I'm so excited to get started with this topic. However, I do have to first let everybody know that I'm not by any means a relationship advisor. I'm not by any means the best at relationships either. These are just some of the things that I've learned over time, and this is just some of the information that I feel might be something that you can use or something that you can utilize or something that you may agree with. So that being said, I am not some love doctor guru. I am just a 21-year-old girl who has learned some things in her life and wants to share a little bit about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. As always, please do follow my Instagrams at Victonite, at Vicky6, and let me know how you guys like this video down below in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like it. Subscribe. Give me a little bit of support. Let me know that you're there and that you're seeing me. So anyway, I'm super, super excited to get started with you guys today. The topic is relationships. So this is always like a big topic for people. Everybody wants to know how to love right, how to, choose adequate people to spend your time with. And I think that that's one of the more controversial topics, honestly, that we deal with in our society right now, especially in America. I feel like relationships are so big. Everybody on social media is raving about relationships. That's the first question you get when you're out with your friends. That's all anybody ever talks about is, oh, who's in your life now? Oh, who are you dealing with now? Who are you associating yourself with? Who's your new friend? It's all about this massive connection. Everybody's connecting with each other everywhere. We're human beings. We're social animals. So we're naturally going to kind of congregate, and we're naturally going to build groups. We're naturally going to make friends. We're going to try and connect. We're going to try and become a unit in a sense. And that being said, I feel like relationships are one of those things that really take over a lot of your headspace. They really take over a lot of your mental energy. So when you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship, when you're in a friendship that is taxing, any relationship that's taxing, when you're talking to your parents and your parents tend to alter your energy in a negative way, then you notice a lot more of these issues and you start surrounding yourself with a lot more of these people and you catch on to these patterns and you start becoming like these people that you're surrounding yourself with, not even noticing that you're changing. And then over time you become the exact same quality of human being. You become the exact same level of existence because you've been accustomed to it for so long, it's become normal to you. Does that make sense? So you've been around it for so long and there's been so many little habits and little instances and little times where you have been exposed to this person's behavioral patterns progressively. And so their behavioral patterns become okay and become what you're used to in a human being. Therefore, it becomes what you mimic. So even if it's subconscious, most of the time it is, you've really got to pay attention to the attributes that your friends, that your family, that your relationship, that your partner, that your so on and so forth, what are the negative attributes that they have? What are the attributes that you may be learning? What are the habits that you may be learning that maybe aren't the most positive for your lifestyle, that maybe aren't contributing to your highest good? So that being said, actually, I want to kind of elaborate a little bit, take it kind of to this section about the highest good. So I feel like as an individual, you are a whole spiritual being and you have this potential that is like way up here, and you have where you're at, which is on this earthly, kind of conformist sort of level. And as you progress through your life and as you follow your intuition and as you listen to your God, or as you listen to the forces of the universe around you and the forces of your existence, the forces that are in your field of vision, we'll say that. Your potential on earth, I feel, is directly connected to your highest good, which is your spiritual being, which is your truth, which is all of the things about yourself that you spend the entirety of your life searching to understand. This is you. This is unapologetically, unquestionable, This is untamed, this is unfiltered, this is raw, authentic you. So take this to a little bit of a different level. Your true self is what's guiding you through your journey here on earth as a human being. You are not just a human being. You are in the body of a human being. You are a soul. You are not a mind. You are an entire physicality made up of a collection of atoms. And in that, you have a very, very clear purpose. However, you exist in a space that is not improving that is not focused on reaching your highest good, that is not focused on reaching your highest potential and finding your truth as a spiritual being. That being said, it's very, very hard for a lot of people to even recognize some of those concepts, even believe in some of those concepts. I'm not saying that anybody else's belief system is incorrect or that this concept is 100% validated by anything. Everybody is free to believe whatever it is they believe, and anybody is free to express how they disagree with anything that I'm talking about. So, sorry, that was kind of random, but that's just like a little bit of like a disclaimer, as you know, like if you disagree with that concept, that's perfectly fine. I definitely don't want to offend anybody, and I definitely don't want to make anybody feel like my words are fact. These are just some of my beliefs and some of the things that I've learned from other, spiritual people and other sources and different books and things like that. So, everybody has their own opinion, everybody has their belief system, but I just wanted to explain a little bit about what I'm referring to when I say the highest good, or your greatest good, or your highest truth. All of those things are referring to the spiritual being within you in its purest form, at its most vulnerable, most raw state. So we're going to talk a little bit about how the relationships that you're in and the things that you're spending your time on, if they are not in conjunction with your highest good, if they are not benefiting your highest good, if they are not helping you reach your highest good, or your truth, or your potential, then these things are not a necessity to your life. Number 2, if you have friends that have a bunch of habits that you disagree with, and you still make time to go out with them every single weekend, and you still make time to participate in so many activities that require energy transfer between you and these individuals who have these habits that you don't want to become accustomed to. In those situations, it kind of becomes a vicious cycle. So you love your friends and you love what they're bringing to your life. You love it when you're joking and when you're laughing and when everybody's drunk, it's such a good time. And when everybody goes to the rave, it's such a good time. And when everybody goes and travels, it's always such a good time. But my friends also drink like 12 hours a day, and they're always broke, and they're always this, and they're always that, or whatever the case may be. These are just examples, guys, just random, totally random examples. Then you run into this issue where you're conflicted, and you're like, I feel like I'm confused, I feel like I'm lost, I feel like I'm stuck, because part of me is sitting here and it wants to be a part of your life. It wants to be around your energy. It wants to be around what you bring to the table, but there's so much that you're doing in your life that can't and won't ever benefit me. There's so much that you're doing in your life that is causing harm to my soul, to who I am, because it's so far from my greatest good that it's causing me this discord and this discomfort. A lot of times it's hard for people to identify those things, so you can't really always just feel a little bit off, a little bit uncomfortable. You can't always just feel a little bit stuck or a little bit lost and just immediately figure out exactly what's making you feel that way. A lot of times it is a process, and a lot of times it takes a lot of trial and error to reach a certain point and to find a level of understanding where you can really say it is because of these habits that I feel a certain way. It is because of this mindset that I feel a certain way. It is because of these people or this loss of energy that I'm experiencing within my life that I feel a certain way. Something I want you to consider is the famous saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Another one is you become most like the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you think the 5 people that you spend the most of your time with are the character traits that you're developing over time, because human beings learn from example. because human beings mimic, because human beings do things habitually over time without even recognizing that they started a habit. We're going to elaborate on the first saying, which is, show me your friends and I will show you your future. In this saying, it's basically saying that you will eventually become just like the people that you surround yourself with. You're going to follow the same path because that's what you are putting into your life. It still follows the same idea that creates the concept of manifestation, which is as you speak and as you feel and as you think and as you hear and as you absorb information, you are constantly creating things and bringing new things into your existence. Because of that, if you're surrounded by people who don't have your best interests in mind, people who aren't trying to support you, people who laugh at you every single time that you bring up a new business idea or every single time that you try to do something productive, people who don't have goals in their lives, who don't have plans, who don't have aspirations. If you are a person who has goals, plans, and aspirations, if you're a person who doesn't have a concept for what you're trying to do with yourself or what you're trying to do with your life, then it doesn't really matter at that point. But if you're somebody who is vastly different from the people that you're surrounding yourself with, you're either dumbing yourself down or you're raising yourself up. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you and who are more financially sound than you, people who are wiser than you, people who think more profoundly than you, or whatever, who have a different energy than you do in a positive way, you're going to represent and you're going to absorb those traits. So choose wisely who you're around. Okay, you don't owe anybody anything. It doesn't matter how long you've been friends. It doesn't matter how well you know them. If they're not bringing anything positive or substantial into your life, then you don't need to have them around. There isn't an in-between. Energy is being exchanged no matter what. So they're either contributing to your highest good, benefiting you, taking you closer to exactly where you want to be and exactly what you're meant to become, or they're not. That's just the truth. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. And you don't have to agree with me and you don't have to believe in that. But that's where I sit. That's how I feel about relationships. So when you're choosing to be in a romantic relationship with somebody, or when you're choosing to be in a friendship with anyone, when you're choosing to make any sort of energy connection with any other living thing, you need to consider the way that their energy is going to affect you also. Is replacing your good energy with their negative energy doing anything for you? No. On that note, if you're surrounding yourself with people that are beyond you, essentially you're the dumbest one in the room, then you're constantly going to be growing. You're going to be becoming like these people that you want to be like. That's the goal. That's how you should be progressing in your life if you're feeling like you're stuck. Is you should look at the people that you're around. You should look at the ways that you've been spending your time and see if these are satisfying your soul. See if these are satisfying your intuitive platform. See if this is doing anything for you. See if you leave your friend's house and you always feel drained. See if you leave your friend's house and you always feel exhausted. Something's not right, guys. You should be full of energy. You should be full of life every day. Every day. So that being said, let's go into the idea of romantic relationships. Romantic relationships are tough. They're weird, they're difficult, every single person is different, and when you're involved with somebody romantically and on a level in a society that is built around monogamistic views, when you are essentially looking for a soulmate or essentially looking for a partner, which I would like to elaborate on soulmates in a different video. If you like that idea, please comment soulmate down below. Sidebar. Everybody's out here trying to find their life partner. Trying to find somebody that is going to support them and respect them and love them and satisfy them in every aspect. I feel like with relationships, when you're finding a partner, they can have certain qualities, but you have to feel free. You have to feel whole. If you are in a relationship and there is just constant lack of trust, there is constant lack of understanding, every sort of altercation turns into a fight. It doesn't even matter what the disagreement is. It could be, oh, do you want to put the knives in this drawer or in this drawer? And then all of a sudden, like, you're arguing and you're like, wait, where do the knives go? So things like that you've really got to think about and kind of pay attention to. There is a huge problem throughout history, and there still is, where men feel like they can objectify women in relationships, and they feel like they can. Well, and I think women do it a lot too. Also, we all do it, and it's really shitty, guys. We should really stop doing this. Everybody gets controlling. That's mine. That's mine. Not he's my boyfriend. That is mine, she says. What? He's not a f***ing object. Like, he's not a just piece of human being that you can just like claim and like have control over for the entirety of his life. Like, he is an entire soul. He is an entire being who has an entire purpose, which is totally separate from you. And that is to be spoken vice versa as well. Like, that goes both ways to whoever is in whatever seat. You know, it's really one of those things where, like, if somebody cannot wrap their head around your dreams, and if somebody cannot wrap their head around your goals and your passions, if somebody can't trust you enough to do your work, if somebody can't allow you to be 100% free, if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, if you feel like you cannot express yourself fully, that is toxic. That is very unhealthy. Why are you doing that? Why are you choking yourself out like that for the sake of this other person? Because you love them? Because you want some sort of justification for your actions? Because they have really amazing sex with you and you don't think that any other person's ever going to compare? Newsflash, honey, everybody can have sex, okay? That is not that special, okay? Newsflash, everybody can have supportive mentalities. Everybody can be loving and strong and faithful and trusting in their partner. But this person is not. And if this person is not, and if that bothers you, some people it doesn't bother. Some people like not being trusted. Some people like this a constant question. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? Why are you doing that? Who's going to be at that party? Why are you going without me? Why would you want to be without me? Because you're my partner, you have to do all of the things that I want to do. You have to do all of the things that I'm doing. I get that you have your own shit going on, but that doesn't really matter because I need you for this. That's not okay, guys. That's really f***ed up. Like, can we just start there and say that if you're going to act like that, you need to not be in a relationship for a while. And you need to figure out exactly where your head's at and exactly if that's even something that you need. Because if your entire goal in a relationship is to have somebody to control, adopt a kid. If your entire goal in a relationship is to have somebody to buy a vibrator, like, come on. If your entire goal in a relationship is to have somebody to tell you that you're pretty and to go out with on the weekends who's going to get you super drunk and then maybe not rape you afterwards, like, not a good idea, guys. If you're going to be in a relationship because you're trying to find your soulmate and you just hope that this is the one and you're just so hoping that this guy is just not going to leave you like everybody else did, I'm sorry, you should be alone for a while, okay? Because this is killing you. Being in relationships that don't benefit your highest good, do the opposite. Any relationship, okay? Sometimes you really just have to cut people out of your life. Is the point I'm trying to make with all of this. Sometimes you really just have to give people their space. Regardless of if it's for them or for you, it doesn't matter. There's no explanation needed. Sometimes you just need to find yourself. You need to be alone. You need to find your soul, your spirit. What drives you, what holds you, what comforts you, what excites you, what scares you. What is your dream? What is your goal? What is your highest good? Are you searching to find that or not? Are you living your life with your soul and mind or not? That's the question that you should be asking yourself. Am I living for me? Am I living for my highest good? Is this benefiting me? Is this making me feel better or worse? Because there's no in between, guys. All energy is exchanged, like equal or opposite. You know this. All energy is exchanged. I know that a lot of times it's really, really hard to identify and to accept that the people in your life, the relationships in your life are the things that are making you feel a certain way, that are making you feel dissociated from yourself. And I know that it really sucks when you do realize this and you have to then consider how you have to go about this in the real world. What are your friends going to say when you don't want to hang out this weekend? What are your friends going to say when you don't want to hang out next weekend? What are your friends going to say when 3 months later they haven't seen you in 3 months and you're still telling them that you can't go? What's going to happen? How's that going to go? I get it. I know it's scary and I know it sucks. But you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your energy. Not everything is as it seems, and you're going to feel so much more alive. And you're going to find better friends. You're going to find people that are actually going to benefit your highest good if that's your intention. I'm not saying you should like cut off everybody that you know like instantaneously, but I'm also not saying you shouldn't. I graduated high school early. I graduated a year early and didn't tell a whole lot of people. I had a little like graduation group, you know, there were like 10 of us or some shit, and we had like a little baby graduation party thing, and it was cool and whatever, and it was fun, and that was cool. But then I went to college and I acquired a whole new mindset. I met a whole new group of people. I didn't hardly talk to anybody that I had known in high school at all, even my closest friends. And it was one of those things where it wasn't like I did it on purpose, but as I noticed, the more that I developed into my new life and the more that I developed into my new persona, I felt like I was a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. I felt like I was developing and I was changing, and I felt like these people weren't going to be on the same level or the same page. I felt like these people weren't going to stimulate me the way that they once did because I was no longer in a position to be stimulated that way. It sounds really shitty when you put it like that, and I understand that. And I understand where it's selfish. But another problem is that we always look at selfishness as a negative thing. It is okay to be selfish. It is important to be selfish. You need to if you're going to have any successful relationship. If you're going to be with anybody who's going to really appreciate you and respect you, you have to be selfish. You have to set boundaries or people will walk all over you. That's why everybody says the nice guy finishes last. No, the guy without boundaries finishes last. You can be a perfectly great person. You can be nice, you can be kind, you can be genuine, you can be real. You can also be aware. You can also be structured. You can also be wise. You can be educated. You can recognize the faults in people and not judge them for them, but be aware of them. Be conscious, be cautious. Now, I'm not saying that you need to, like I said, just cut off everybody that you know, but it might not be a bad idea to cut off some of those people. I had a friend and I absolutely loved her to death. She was awesome. She was incredible. She was so sweet, so genuine. She was very damaged. She had a lot of mental baggage. She had a lot of things that she struggled with all the time. She had depression and anxiety and body dysmorphia. She developed an eating disorder. She was, frankly, in a very, very, very hard place. She was drowning in her own discomfort. She was drowning in her own pity. She was drowning in her own sadness. And granted, yes, she did have a hard childhood. You know, there were a lot of factors that played into the way that she felt. She had been experiencing depression for a long time. But that being said, I got to a point where even though she was my dear friend, and even though I loved her, and even though I loved being around her, and I loved the energy that she brought, and I loved how genuine she was, and I loved how we could connect on our pain, I got to a point where I couldn't deal with her level of pain anymore. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. It was enough. It was time. I was ready to grow, and I was ready to move on, and I was ready to be happy. And I just disappeared. I just disappeared. And I never really explained it to her. I never really gave her any explanation. I never really gave her any sort of closure. I never really told her any of this. And when she asked me why, I just disappeared like that. I really couldn't give her an answer. I couldn't tell her that she was suffocating. I couldn't tell her that she was destroying me by being destroyed. I couldn't tell her that I didn't know how to help because I didn't. I didn't even know how to say that. At the time, I didn't even know how to comprehend the way that I felt. I just knew that I felt overwhelmed. I knew that I felt exhausted. I knew that I felt like I needed a change, and I knew that that's what it was. I knew that I needed to be around people who were going to inspire me, who were going to enlighten me, who were going to ignite me, or no one at all. And I've been like that for a really long time, and I continue to be like that every single day. I respect myself enough to know what I'm willing to deal with. That being said, I've cut off a lot of people in my life because their energy affects me in a way that I don't like. I love to help people. I want to help people. I want to heal. But I'm still in a space where I'm learning how to manage my own consciousness, and I'm learning to manage how I feel. I just wanted to say that sometimes you don't have an explanation. Sometimes the explanation is so harsh that it's not even worth saying. The fact of the matter is, when it comes down to it, you don't owe anybody an explanation. You felt like you needed space away from this person, away from this activity, whatever. You felt like you needed that. That's explanation enough. We live in a society where, and I used to say this all the time, I used to say, oh, well, I can't break up with this person unless I have a good reason to break up with them, right? right? You can't just go breaking up with people for no reason. What an awful, savage thing to do. Excuse you. My reason is that I just frankly don't want to be here anymore. My reason is I want to be alone. My reason is blah, 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 blah. If you're in a relationship with anything and you're constantly wondering why you're still there, leave. Leave. When you face controversy and when you feel like there is somebody in your life, in any aspect of it that is not benefiting your highest good, cut it out. Go find you. Go find your highest good, guys, because ultimately, there's not a single thing that we can take to the grave. They don't even let us wear clothes, guys, most of the time. Okay? Not a single thing. If you're cremated, then you really can't take shit with you. You don't even get a box. So quit wasting your time, okay? Stop hoping that somebody's gonna change or that you're not gonna develop these traits that you hate about your friends, guys. That being said, when you have good people in your life, you'll know it. When you meet your soulmate, you'll know it. When you find people that are going to benefit you and that do contribute to your highest good, you can feel it in your soul. You're ignited. You're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're hitting the ground running. It's an incredible feeling. It's incredible. Find that feeling. You owe it to yourself to be happy, to be sound, to be content, unapologetic, to be aware. Guys, if you guys have people in your life that you really love and that you really appreciate and that really impact your life in a positive way, you really need to appreciate them. You really need to let them know that you appreciate them, and you need to spend more of your time with the people that are going to impact you in a way that's going to help you grow. Period. Exclamation point. So guys, that's it. That's all I've got for you guys. Be wise with who you share your energy with, who you share your time with. You don't have to be friends with everybody, and you don't owe anybody an explanation. You can break up with them because your soul needs something different. Thank you. You know, not every relationship is going to be the most beneficial, and where it may hurt to cut certain people out of your life, it is necessary. I've learned so much in the time that I've been in the relationship that I'm in currently. Really opened my eyes to a lot of toxic traits that a lot of us possess. So nobody's perfect, but find the people that make you better. On that note, guys, thank you so much for joining me today on Peace, Art, and Controversy. I'm Vicky6, and for the time being, I'm going to be continuing to post my more controversial and motivational videos on Fridays. So join me next Friday for another deep-rooted conversation. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on Peace, Art, and Controversy. I hope you guys enjoyed that topic. Like I said, I am no relationship guru. I frankly struggle with relationships constantly, but there are some things that you can do to improve the relationships that you're in your own personal life based on your own personal characteristics. It's so wonderful to see you guys back again. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. Join me on Monday for my latest project, which is this guy right here. Join me on Monday to see the finished product of this painting. Join me next Friday. We're going to be talking about the importance of creative outlets. So I know that some of you may not be super creative people, and I understand that. And for me, somebody who's been creative my entire life, it is a little bit different ballgame than for some of you who maybe have never picked up a paintbrush in an artistic way, or, you know, hated art class. That being said, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the importances of having a creative outlet, regardless of what that may be, and how it really will benefit your mental health to cultivate that skill or to practice. So anyway, I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week, and I cannot wait to see you guys on Monday for my painting and on Friday for my talk on creativity. I hope that you enjoyed my topic of the day, relationships. And if you have any questions or concerns, or if you think that all of my concepts are bogus, please let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. I cannot wait to see you on Monday, and I cannot wait to see you on Friday. Sending peace, sending love, and sending creativity. Thank you. Vicky6 out.